Come, come, I can see your future. Look into my crystal ball. Yes, 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 I see it. Your future, it is bright. You will get everything you've ever wished for. Astrologers, tarot readers, numerologists, past life readers, psychics. Many people tend to group these people together and think that they're all the same. Today, I am going to tell you guys what is the difference between people who choose divinatory methods and people who are psychic. By divinatory methods, I mean things such as astrology, tarot, runes, etc. I once had a guy ask me to tell him his future, and when I told him that I can't really do that, he got really angry at me and he started dissing me. This led me to realize that very often people confuse so-called psychics with astrologers. I also realized this when I had a person from the platform Bitwine approached me and asked me to be a psychic on their platform. I went and I looked at Bitwine and I saw that there are literally thousands of people that are psychics offering their services on Bitwine. From what I could see, there wasn't much of a vetting process for these psychics, and anyone can just sign up and become a so-called psychic and start giving people psychic readings. I want to know what makes the difference from a person who claims to be a psychic and a person who is an actual real psychic. I once went to a psychic. She closed her eyes, she shaked around a bit, and she told me some random information about my future. I was 16 at the time, and I asked her if my boyfriend at the time was the right one for me. She told me no, it's not going to last, and I will give her credit. It really did not last. But looking back at it analytically, very few 16-year-olds stay with their high school sweethearts forever. She could have basically just looked at me and have known this 16-year-old girl is not going to be in this relationship for the rest of her life, like most 16-year-olds aren't. She told me a whole bunch of other things that did not come true, and that was also quite senseless. And to be honest with you guys, I left the reading more confused than informed. I do need to clear out that there is a huge difference between psychic powers and intuition. I believe both psychic powers and intuition do exist, yet I have noticed people tend to confuse the two. This is the definition of psychic powers: relating to or denoting faculties or phenomena that are apparently inexplicable by natural laws, especially involving telepathy or clairvoyance. This is the definition of intuition: the ability to understand something instinctively without the need for conscious reasoning. So I'm not saying that psychics aren't real, and there could be people out there that have telepathy and that are clairvoyant. I'm not dismissing this. However, the purpose of this video is just to make people aware of fake psychics and the difference between the so-called psychics and people such as astrologers so that they can be more informed. I'm also making this video because I've noticed that a lot of people get scammed by these so-called psychics, by people who pretend to be psychic, and they convince people that they're psychic when they're not, and they're actually just after people's money. These people are in essence scammers, and the reason I'm making this video is to call these people out. In astrology, we make use of the positions of the planets in relation to the zodiac. There are certain meanings and certain symbolisms attached to the signs, the planets, and the houses. And through studying and learning these techniques, we astrologers base our predictions and our statements according to this. Astrologers do not use psychic powers when we read charts. It is merely using knowledge of the planetary alignments and what it actually means. One can say that some astrologers apply their intuition onto their work, which means that they have a natural understanding of the law of mankind, psychology, and consciousness, but this does not hint to them possessing psychic powers. I'm very skeptical of astrologers or tarot readers who claim to be psychics. I'm not saying that they're not, and I give them the benefit of the doubt. Who knows, they might be. But I do feel that these people are, in essence, damaging people's perception of astrology, tarot, runes, past life regressions, and what these things are all about. I'm not a psychic, and I do not claim to have these powers of clairvoyance, telepathy, or whatever the case may be. I can't tell the future, but when people ask me to use my psychic powers, which I do not even claim to have, they get upset with me. However, this is mainly due to the misconception created around psychics and astrologers and people thinking that they're the same thing. There is no way to prove if someone is psychic, and anyone can claim to have psychic powers. How do we differentiate between the true psychics, which I have no doubt exist out there, from the false psychics, who are out to scam people, which seems to me to be majority of them. I'm going to say this as it is, but many psychics, or so-called psychics, prey on those that are gullible and vulnerable, and this is the exact reason why I have a problem with this. Many of these so-called psychics claim after seeing them, giving their money, that they can change your entire life and give you these incredible insights that will lead you to some kind of pot of gold. What they're actually doing is just selling you snake oil. If a psychic or any person practicing divination is pressuring you into purchasing their service and they're making all kinds of grand promises to you, it is a very big red flag. Just to give you an example, in tarot and astrology, the symbolisms represented by the craft is meant to lead you towards self-understanding, and that is what is in essence your pot of gold. No reader, psychic, or intuitive has the power to change your life. The only person who can change your life is you. The reader's purpose is merely to guide you toward awareness and to bestow you with information that you would not have possibly found elsewhere that can really help you with your challenges and on the path that you're on. If the reader claims that they can change your life and they have the power to manifest whatever you want into your life, they are lying to you, and it is most likely a scam. Many psychics are in essence magicians, and they are illusionists. They know how to woo people, and they know how to manipulate a person's perception of reality. If this is what the person does, then their intention is not right, as the goal of the divinatory arts is not to scam and to manipulate people, but like I said, to bring people closer to awareness and closer to their actual inner enlightenment. In the United States, psychic services make up a $2 billion industry. It goes without saying that many scammers will try and get involved in this industry, just like in any other industry. Astrology, tarot readers, palm readers, etc. all fall into this psychic industry. Just to give you guys an idea, here are some stories I found from The Insider. This explains to you how these psychics scam people. Gina Marie Marks, who went by the name Natalie Miller, was accused of employing a number of strategies to convince people to pay for her psychic guidance, according to the Washington Post. When one woman came to see her after a painful breakup, she allegedly predicted when her client's ex-boyfriend would call. Then she proceeded to use phone spoofing to make it look like he was calling when it was really the psychic herself. She was also accused of requesting thousands of dollars in cash and designer handbags from clients to place on an altar, which she never returned. From the 1980s up until 2014, when the US government shut the operation down, letters from a psychic named Marla Duval reached millions of people around the world, promising to solve all of their problems in exchange for cash. Recipients, many of them seniors, sent an average of $40 every time they received one, according to CNN, adding up to $200 million paid from the US and Canada alone. Duval's son said that his mother was known locally as a psychic and that she sold the rights to her name and in a bad business deal. Her name was then used by shell companies to spam millions with junk mail. According to CNN, Duval did not profit from the letters. Police raided her home in France but found no unusual amounts of cash in her safe or her bank accounts. Duval also appeared to have little understanding of the scams carried out in her name due to a worsening case of dementia. As of July 2018, a criminal investigation was still ongoing. Psychic Zoe, whose real name is Anne Thompson, was accused of telling one broken-hearted woman that she had to buy her a 9.2-carat diamond ring if she ever wanted to find love again. Thompson was also accused of convincing victims to spend tens of thousands of dollars on gold coins for healing rituals. Thompson was later rearrested on charges related to 10 additional victims. She had pled not guilty, and at the time of this article, the case is ongoing. The Palm Beach Post reported that Bridget Doreen Evans has been charged with fraud for a third time after being accused of scamming a woman in Boca Raton out of $180,000 and another Houston victim of $220,000. Evans was previously sentenced to 32 months in prison for fraud in 2011 and 5 years of probation after taking a plea deal for fraud in 2000. Evans allegedly told her victims that their money and valuables contained evil spirit that she could vanish if they were in her possession, only to ask for more money. Bridget Doreen Evans scammed $180 and $220,000 out of her clients. I don't think I will ever make that much in my astrology career doing honest work. I'm honestly dumbfounded. Psychics claim that they receive their messages and their informations via visions. The only thing is that these visions have no actual source for the information that was received other than the person's mind. In astrology, the source for the information is the planets and the signs and the symbolisms represented by these. I know a lady who claims to be psychic and that she gets her information through visions. However, she is also a diagnosed schizophrenic, and doctors claim that her visions are part of her mental illness. This is why it's a bit of a gray area. At what point do you believe and take her visions to be psychic insights and phenomena, or just pure delusions? What happens a lot is people are not aware that they are able to be read like a book. When a psychic tells them, "I can sense that you're feeling down, beaten, and under the weather," it's likely because the psychic can see the bags under your eyes from when you were crying and how you haven't brushed your hair or possibly groomed yourself in days and you're looking completely out of it. Or maybe you're a single woman in your 30s or 40s and you're looking for love. The psychic sees that you don't have a ring on your finger and they say, "You have been feeling lonely and you're looking for love." A lot of the times, the things that these psychics pick up on are merely obvious things that you are just not aware of yourself. but it's very visible to other people. Not every person is self-aware, and psychic scammers are aware of this. These psychic scammers prey on and manipulate these people specifically. Okay guys, so this is just my video on the difference between people that are astrologers, tarot readers, etc., and people that are psychics. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are a psychic yourself and you have psychic powers, please let me know in the comments how you get your visions, if any of your predictions and your visions have come true. I would really love to know about this. If you've had any experiences with psychics, let me know about your experiences as well. Did their predictions come true? Were their predictions not true? Let me know. I've added the links to my Patreon in the description of this video if you want to become a Patreon of mine and see what that is all about. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.